Hello, Libra, and welcome to your weekly reading for the week of July 5th through the 11th. This is Wild Magnolia Tarot. My name is Maddie, and we're going to start with a card from the Wild Unknown archetype deck. I use these as a general theme for the reading, so, something to meditate on while you listen to the rest of the reading, and then possibly over the next week as things happen. So, your card this week is Gnosis. I've also heard it said Gnosis, but I say Gnosis. And I'm going to read the definition of the card from the book, because I like it and I like how it sets a good tone for the rest of the reading. So, Gnosis. True knowledge is not found in facts and figures in scholarly books on library shelves. Rather, Gnosis points to the deep and timeless archetypal wisdom that rises from the felt experience of having touched the unknown with every one of the senses. Those who are drawn to Gnosis find themselves in esoteric studies, likely involving mysticism, alchemy, healing, or perhaps science. Knowing is their calling. Not knowing is their job description. No matter how far the alchemists take their studies, they come to the ultimate conclusion that facts slip toward mystery, and soon the mystery results in facts. This card signifies a knowing that is life-changing. Once you experience it, you are forever changed and become a guardian of Gnosis. The eternal mystery is calling you. Study your passion in the deepest way available to you. When light, this card represents contemplating the mystery, as well as unanswerable questions. When dark, this card means over-intellectualizing and literalizing, asking others. So keep that in mind as we move through the reading and draw our other cards. We're going to start with our tarot cards. Keep bumping the camera. Sorry about that. So first tarot card that I'm going to pick is going to be a card that signifies you, as you are now. Let me get a card that describes Libra, please. Apparently it wants... Oh, there it goes. Alright, Libra. You are the Knight of Blades, or the Knight of Swords. And that makes me want to tell you, real quick. This is the second time I've tried to record your reading. I had a lot of problems and interruptions when I started the first time, and so when I had to pause and restart over and over again, I got the feeling that, maybe I should try again. Maybe I should just shuffle the cards again and start from the very beginning, which is what I did. And before, on my first attempt, instead of Gnosis, the card that I drew for you guys was Aletheia, which also means truth. And then the first tarot card that I pulled for you guys was the Knight of Blades. And I've done a lot of shuffling, so I feel like perhaps the whole point was to get a different archetype card to begin this reading with. I don't know. Or I'm overlooking it. Or looking over it. So, anyway. Knight of Blades. The truth seeker, right? Or fighting for truth in some way. Which is who you are right now. You are fighting for some kind of truth. You're either fighting to find it, or you're fighting to keep it in the light and share it with other people in some way. You may have learned something recently that you feel like other people need to know, or you may be in a situation where you're trying to find the truth of some kind of situation that you're dealing with that is full of misunderstanding and there's a lack of clarity. Next card we're going to pull is the card that describes your environment right now. So this is Libra's environment, and we have the Six of Cups. So This could be memories, nostalgia, remembering the good times. It's also, you could describe being with family and celebrating something with your family. Or just shooting the breeze and thinking back on how different things were in the past. This could also be a situation that's playing out in your life on the mental level, where you're going through a lot of old memories, trying to figure something out, or working through anything that may have come up from the past recently. Something, it could be painful, or it could just be something from childhood that popped into your head out of nowhere that you never thought of before. But whatever this situation is, it has something to do with your past and how you hold the memories of the past in your head. So the next card I'm going to draw is going to be a card to describe your situation. Threw it on the floor. So we have the Three of Wands. So you're trying to plan for something. You're kind of in the past here, but then you're looking towards the future. Let's see, can we get any focus? So, Three of Wands. Perhaps there's something you need to work through internally that's holding you back from progressing in your life, or making the next step, or starting something. Or there's just something that you believe from your past, something that somebody told you that you believed that is wrong, or inaccurate at least, and that affects your perception of your reality and the future. So there's something you need to find out in order to move forward. Some kind of information you're looking for, or an answer of some kind. Next card is something that you can do to further yourself in your process. This is kind of like an advice card from the tarot in this spread. Something, do this, don't do that kind of thing. So this is what you can do. And we have Justice. Okay, so this is the balance between right and wrong, a truth and a lie. It can literally be referring to something occurring within the legal system. So if something may be brought up in court, potentially, that you need to be aware of, something from the past that will affect whatever judgment comes from your case, if that is what this is about, because I know that's very specific. That won't be the case for everybody, or maybe even won't be the case for most people. But there is some sort of decision, right, that's hanging on this, whatever this is that's coming up from the past. There's something that has to be determined or decided or included when it comes to what happens in the future, or what's going to happen, or how you're going to do something, how you're going to manifest something is dependent upon that decision, and that decision is dependent upon something that happened to the past, or in the past, or a memory of some kind. It's a kind of an investigative energy that I'm getting from this reading. Somebody's investigating something. Let's see. Next card is something to let go. And I got two cards. The first one that came out was the Five of Rods, or the Five of Wands. Okay, and the Five of Wands has a lot to do with conflict or competition, conflict of goals, conflict of values. And then we have the Three of Blades, which is heartbreak and pain and distress, usually resulting from something that's happened in the past. Sometimes it can mean betrayal. So if this is what you have to let go, then there must be some kind of fight that occurred between you and somebody else potentially in the past that informs your decisions in this situation. Or it is affecting your judgment in some way where you cannot see the positive or the good in something because of the shadow that this event left on your perspective. So, in order to see clearly and move forward and be able to manifest whatever it is that you want, also, this may have a lot to do with you being able to see the truth. Like, you can't see the truth until you process and let go of this fight. Because I do think that this was a fight, especially with the Three of Blades. It was a fight and it didn't end well, and you've never forgotten it. And you're still, when you think about it, it still hurts you. And so you have to be able to process through the memories of that in order to be okay with it and to accept what it is, and also to appreciate perhaps what kind of doors it opened for you in your life that you don't realize, and how you grew from it. Okay, you gotta let that go in order to see clearly, or any decision, any step that you take with this perspective is not gonna be the most beneficial to you, and it's not going to long-term contribute to your overall happiness. Next card I'm going to pull from the tarot is the best possible outcome for your situation. Okay, so we have the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is the teacher, the leader. He's usually a wise figure with a lot of information. So this could be a mentor, even somebody that you look up to, who's guiding you or teaching you the things that you need to know if you are a student or in that position. Or perhaps you are the teacher, and once you reach a certain level of wisdom, once you can move past the pain and the things that get in your way and hold you back, then you can fully harness the wisdom that you gain from those experiences and turn around and teach somebody else how to navigate their lives and their situations based on what you learned from navigating your situation. So this is either suggesting that you will have somebody come into your life who will help you and guide you and teach you, or you will become that teacher to help somebody else. I'm going to move these a little bit. So I'm going to switch to oracle cards for you guys. I'm going to draw 3 cards from the Flowers from the Dead oracle deck. And we can look at these cards as being advice or another indication of underlying energies. I guess it really depends on what comes out for you guys, but they're relevant. It will give us 3 messages that are relevant to your message today. Let's see, what we got for Libra? First thing we've got is Alligator Gar, which is confusion or misunderstood. So that indicates to me, based on the cards that we've already pulled, that perhaps there's just something that, some kind of conclusion you drew in the past, some kind of assumption that you have made that is inaccurate and is causing more problems than it's even worth, because perhaps it's something that upsets you that should not have upset you because you just didn't see it right, or you were coming at it from a limited perspective. But that's the whole point of gnosis and, the investigative process, right? Digging in, going deep, looking at all the details to determine objectively exactly what is going on in a certain situation and how to move forward based on that. 2 more came out at the same time, threw themselves on the floor. So dramatic. Okay, we have the donkey, burden or heavy load. And we have the raccoon, curiosity and exploration. So perhaps this burden, right, this could be tied to the memories or the past event that happened that we talked about over here. Perhaps to go on without trying to find the truth and reframe the situation in your own head, perhaps to not do that just becomes heavy and weighs on you. Like you need to know the truth. You need to be able to give the truth to someone else. And you need to be able to live in truth as opposed to operating under, misconceptions and bad assumptions and quickly drawn conclusions, right? And then we have raccoon, which is curiosity and exploration, goes back to that investigative attitude where, you're looking for the truth. Like you're open to the truth. Not just looking for it, but you're open to the truth. And you're willing to step outside your little box and perhaps learn things and see things that contradict things that you believed already from the past. So I'm going to draw a card from the Shamanic Medicine deck. And this is, to a degree, this could be considered spiritual advice or like some spiritual guidance or, something of that spiritual tone. Okay, so we have the altar, which means this card represents honor or honoring something or somebody else. So whatever it is that you place on your altar and who the altar is dedicated to, would determine what it is that you honor, I suppose. And actually, I want to draw another card to clarify that. We're going to draw another Shamanic Medicine card. Because right now, to me, it looks like not only you searching for the truth, seeking out the true reality of a situation, but honoring it as well, right? Appreciating it, learning from it, and showing that appreciation in the things that you do, the things that you say, how you treat people, really allowing this truth, living in your truth in a way that is very obvious or communicates, it changes the way you behave, the way you think, the things you say, how you talk to other people, for sure, absolutely. I really feel like this has a lot to do with how you feel about either a certain person or a certain type of person, right? So whatever it is that's coming up from the past may be something that somebody did that hurts you. And so every time you see somebody like that, or you see that person individually, you have these bad feelings that are hanging over your shoulder, and they influence the way that you think about them or how you treat them. And this is all built on pain from the past that you need to let go. That way you can see people in a different light or in a more understanding way. But back to that altar. Honoring. What are we honoring? Libra, you are honoring the present. You have middle world. Okay, so the here and the now. This is about you being able to fully appreciate life as it is in this moment of time and being able to fully enjoy the moment, every moment, regardless of what hurts you experienced in the past. This is finally shedding those bad feelings and being able to live your life without thinking about it or just carrying it around with you everywhere you go, like your personal little rain cloud. Next card I'm going to pull is from the Earth Power Oracle deck, and this is some kind of earthly energy that you can be inspired by or tap into or meditate on in order to help you in your situation. And I will say that this deck, while beautiful and very helpful, has a lot of cards that I struggle to pronounce. So if I butcher a word, I apologize. I am really sorry. I just want to say really sorry now because I just feel like that's what's about to happen. But the card that I got for you guys is, okay, bear with me here, the Ajanta Caves. Ajanta Caves. Okay, and the description of that card reads, enlightenment is a journey. I show compassion to myself and all living beings. I can be centered without chaos, or within chaos. All my past lives have brought me to this perfect moment of realization and wisdom. And I feel like that actually ties in exactly right. You're talking about being centered within chaos, right? The present, the middle world. Grounding, okay? And honoring the present. All my past lives have brought me to this perfect moment of realization and wisdom. And this can be referring to like past lives, like before you died and then you came back to this life. But this also, past lives is, you in the past. When you were a different person and you thought differently. When you knew less and you had not had as many experiences, right? It's almost like every time you have a major shift emotionally or mentally or within your perspective, that is usually represented as a death. And so a past life could be you just in the past, the person you were and how you thought. That when you were that person, that's when this painful thing happened over here. That is when you experienced that heartbreak. And you learned from it as you learned from things every day as you got older. And then eventually you shifted in your perspective, right? And then it was like being reborn. And that's where you're at right now again. It's this transformational process by which you really come to terms with reality and your life and everything that's happened this far, and keep the lessons and let go of the baggage so that you can just be happy in your day-to-day and not have to think about it. It's wisdom, it's compassion for self, and also forgiveness is a big theme here. You have to forgive somebody, you have to forgive something, or you have to forgive yourself, perhaps even for letting something weigh on you for so long. But it's just the learning process. Everyone goes through it, and you're not alone in that. I'm going to pull 2 cards from the Roots and Wings Oracle deck. I treat these as advice cards. Here's some advice for Libra, please. Hope. Maintain hope. Be hopeful for the future. Believe in better, that you can have better, that you can be better, that life can be better, and that every day can just incrementally be better than the last, and you can experience happiness even in rougher times or darker times, right? One more, please. One more Roots and Leaves Oracle card for Libra, please. Said 1, so it gave me 2, and I'm okay with this. We have drifting and passage. And if you notice, that's a boat. It's a rainbow in a boat. And to me, this is confirmation that you right now are on that last leg, not the last leg, but you're far into your journey. You've been at this for a while. This isn't new for you. And at this point, you are basically drifting through your emotions and your memories to sort yourself out from the inside out. A lot of readings that I've done recently have come out like this, where it's just a lot of inner work that you're doing right now. Maybe even like shadow work. Oh, I dropped another card. Didn't mean to do that. This is unfamiliar territory. So, yeah. Shadow work is what I was saying. Which the shadow is very unfamiliar territory because it is the part of ourselves that usually we try to ignore or avoid or silence or pretend it's not there, when it is a very important part of us. And it does have an effect and inform us in everything we do. So for you, drifting down that river, and the river is emotions and the senses, information coming in through your senses, right? You're just you're experiencing it all again. You're really meditating on it, your past, that is, or how you feel about a certain situation, or feelings that you have from the past that still affect you now. And through this process, as you drifted down this river and you see things for what they really are, and you're able to cope, I guess, if you're able to, what's the word I'm looking for? Separate yourself, I suppose, and put yourself in an outside perspective if you can. Look at the situation like you're somebody else. You're not you. You're Bob down the street. You called Bob in to take a look at your situation and tell you what he sees. You are Bob. Look around at everything like it's the first time you've ever seen it and ask yourself, what is that? If it's a moment in time where you did something or you said something you shouldn't have, instead of judging yourself for it, or if it was somebody else, instead of judging them for it, look at it from a bigger picture perspective and say, what happened there? What truly took place in that moment, right, that set off the whole butterfly effect in your life, okay? Work through those memories and rewrite them in your head as being less traumatizing, less painful, and more informative. See everyone as they really are. Normal humans, people with parts of themselves that are sad and broken because they were raised by people and around people who were sad and broken. And it's a cycle. And once you realize it's a cycle, then it's so much easier to cope with and understand. And because we have drifting here and then passage, right? So you're passing through that portal, almost like the portal into your subconscious, the portal into your shadow. You are passing through that, and it is unfamiliar territory. And so that's scary. But you are perfectly safe in that process. There's nothing that can hurt you that you're going to find in there that you hadn't already experienced or seen or known. And knowledge is power, okay? When you finally understand the things that hurt you in the past, when you're able to look at them after some time and some distance, you can get through it better. You can more easily forgive and let go, which is exactly what you need to do. You're in the let go process. You have to let go. And the only way out is through. So I'm going to pull 2 more cards from the Divine Energy Oracle deck. And these cards are advice cards. And they're very simple and to the point. And I really loved it and did a good reading with these. So, let's see. Go for your dreams. So perhaps there's something that you want to do, something that you want to manifest, that you really feel strongly about, or something that you want really bad. And this is telling you to go for it. Because as you make your way through this, and remember, this is just for this week. So, good luck. But also, I do take my cards literally sometimes, so go for your dreams, right? Maybe you should focus on things that you're dreaming about. If you're having a lot of dreams lately, vivid dreams, or you're dreaming of the past, really consider those dreams. Write them down as soon as you wake up and see if there's any messages in there for you that you may have missed if you weren't paying attention. Dreams are so important. They're so important. They're like half of my life is dreams. I could tell you my dreams all day, every day. They're insane, but I've learned a lot from my dreams. And so I know that they can be very powerful in regards of, the spiritual and emotional and mental evolution of each person, right? Your subconscious talks to you through your dreams. So if you've been having a lot of dreams lately, especially if they're weird or uncomfortable, or just straight up nightmares, you want to forget a good nightmare, right? Or a bad nightmare. You want to forget. But you really should think about it, look into it, and see what your higher self or your subconscious self is trying to communicate to you. So let's get one more, please, for Libra. Oh, how about 30? Okay, here we go. Sorry. They're sticking together. Grieve your losses. And this goes right back to letting go. Forgiving and letting go. This could be a loss of a life of someone that you love. This could be material loss. This could be the loss of a relationship or a friendship. You haven't dealt with it. You need to grieve and let go. Let me get a drop one. It is seek hidden treasure. So never forget to look for the good in everything. And the hidden treasure is almost like the message of wisdom in the dream, right? Seek it out. Don't be afraid to reflect and ask questions, even of yourself. Okay? Libra, I hope that this was a good reading for you guys. I hope that it was helpful. Things may be a little tough this week, emotionally raw, but, just hang in there and remember that this is all for growth. All for growth. And personal transformation into something better and happier and more healthy, so that you can fully enjoy every moment of your life and appreciate everything in its totality, negative side and positive side. All right. That's it for you guys for this week. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and feel free to like it and subscribe to my channel for future readings. I will be doing every week I'll be doing the weeklies, and then I'm also going to be doing some pick cards and some other random little ideas that I had. If you have any suggestions or requests for readings, you can just leave it in the comment. I will read it, and I will probably do it. So thank you again for tuning in and stopping by. See you guys next week.